So post-COVID, both these countries, Azerbaijan and Turkey, have seen a spike in tourists, especially post-COVID. And Azerbaijan has started very recently. They started in 2022, literally wooing the Indian people. They have literally tripled the numbers in these 3 years. From they had around 58,000 or something people traveling in 2022, and today I think the numbers that we have been reported are something like 2,43,000. So it's like 2.5 lakh people traveling in last year. So I think the spike is huge. We are today the third largest where Azerbaijan is concerned. Even our bilateral trades have been increasing day by day. We are the seventh largest trading partner with Azerbaijan. We've not only invested in tourism with a lot of properties and hospitality and investments of infrastructure, but we've also, have been trading on a lot of agriculture products, pharmaceuticals, IT. We've been investing in. So there's a huge link where, once tourism starts, tourism is a huge value chain. It doesn't limit yourself only to tourism. The infrastructure starts getting better and better. Investments start growing. So I think it's very interdependent on tourism a lot, because footfalls is something that actually gets the focus for everything going. Same thing goes with where Turkey is concerned. Today we have last year I think 330,000 people traveled to Turkey. And we have actually contributed literally like 4,000 crores where tourism is concerned, direct or indirect. It's all there. Could be the aviation, could be hospitality, could be visas, could be everything. So it's a direct and indirect flow which comes into Turkey, and they actually, benefit out of it. So we are not only limited to tourism there. We are also doing a lot of other, investments. They're also doing investments in India. It's not that. So I think any country which falls into a geopolitical war should always look at both the sides before they really get into it, because actually affect the sentiments of the people. Things like this, when they are reported on media, and we saw that with the recent war and the attack, the Sindoor. We saw that that they openly were supporting Pakistan, and I think those things do go absolutely beyond our thought processes. And tourism is the first to be affected always when a calamity like this happens, because the first sentiment is of the person who's going to be traveling to those countries. So I think those are the things that we are looking at, and of course it will affect both the sides right now, because the Indian tourism industry is stood up, and we did that even during Maldives. When the Maldives reacted to it, because the first step that comes into consideration is always the tourists. So we were the first to even react when Maldives happened, and that's the way it is. And this is the way what we are seeing, that is going to affect everything, because the investments were again in Turkey is something like 90,000 crores of INR. So it's not a small amount that we are doing it. And we have Turkish companies also handling airports here, and more. So I don't know how the trade is going to be affected, because that's something I cannot speak about, because that's something that has to come from a very senior, or from maybe Honorable Prime Minister himself, how we have to look into it. But tourism today is at a standstill where these two countries are confirmed. We are seeing a lot of cancellations happening. What I heard yesterday was like nearly 60% have been canceling right now, because they are skeptical about traveling, their safety, and they don't know what the behavior is going to be like. Their associations from there have reached out to different associations, because I'm no longer the president now, so it hasn't reached out to me, but it has come to me by a lot of agents from their country, that we are not, we like to welcome the Indian tourists, especially Turkey has sent those. I'm sure they would love to, because the first person, again, like I said, it's going to be affected are the travel agents. It's both sides. It's not only India, it's also their side. The business goes down. So actually the process and the progress of tourism, which we always talk about, it brings peace, it brings prosperity, it brings people to connect, grows much stronger. I think these are things that actually get affected in the political aspect of life. So I think those are things that are going to come. We'll be seeing those. So right now the industry is standing with it, with the industry standing together to say that we will not be supporting these two countries. How it's going to go forward, I can't say, I can't predict, because sometimes these things are short-lived. We saw the Maldives Prime Minister and the officials saying, actually regretting the entire episode. If the same thing happens, we do believe in peace and we go forward with it. But currently, I think we should stand strong with our own country and with the armed forces who, like, suffer the entire episode. So people who are the travel agents and the ones who are in the tourism are the ones who are not liking the sentiments of the Indians not traveling. And so they are the ones who are reaching out to us. It's not the countries reaching out to us. It's the travel agents we deal with. We have partners in Turkey. We have partners in Azerbaijan with whom we do conduct our daily businesses and how they facilitate the tourists from our side. So they are the ones who are reaching out to saying that, no, it is, please do send your people so that our businesses don't get affected, bookings don't come into cancellation. So all that. So if this happens, then I just told you, we are the third largest footfalls in nearly both the countries. So I think it's going to affect the tourism a lot. And if tourism slows down, trade also starts slowing down a lot. Not that it's only dependent on India, but still, I mean, it will slow down. And like I said, the investors' trade value with Turkey is something like 90,000 crore rupees. And so seeing this happen, it will affect. And not only that, we Indians are the largest spenders. Every trip is literally like 4 to 5 days. We don't travel less than that, could be more. And average person, what he spends is like 1.25 lakhs per trip. So I think that's a huge amount. And we have been contributing that because these two destinations have become a very favorite of our Indians. So I think it's going to affect them in the long run if this is not, looked into, and if this is not, considered. But commercial decisions are sometimes very different than decisions of sentiments. So we have to somehow align the political aspect with the sentiments of the people. We have to align the political and people-to-people connect. So there are a lot of things that need to go into consideration going forward. And I think we need a clearer direction from our Prime Minister himself, how to go about this, and if what are his thoughts on it. So I think these things should be also like a direction from the government itself. But like I told you, the investments, both sides are huge. So if the government takes see, it's not always that what the sentiments of the people are, the government also goes by it, because these are trade and commercial decisions, which are a very different level aspect of discussions. These are not something that we just we don't recommend these two destinations to the traveler today. So that there are two things when we actually recommend to a traveler. It's not only about saying that our sentiments have been hurt, but it's also that we also want safety of the passengers who are traveling. So we are not sure how safe those countries are right now for India or the Indians traveling there. So, but the trade policies come from the Commerce Ministry or other ministries. So I think that's something I cannot affect in. But if the government tomorrow decides to go slow on trade, and they don't want more investments coming from these countries, then of course it will be a very direct blow to them. So, but that's not a decision that we as an industry of the travel and tourism can do. We would obviously stand with the entire government environment of our own country and be a part of it. But currently the sentiments have been hurt. And our people and even the travelers themselves have been canceling. It's not only the travel agents are telling them to cancel. The travelers themselves are not feeling very secure and safe. So it's going to affect, of course, the trade is going to be affected both sides, and there has to be a policy because I always feel that intersection of tourism and diplomacy is often underestimated. So outbound holds a very huge leverage. So I think this Operation Sandoor has taught us a few things more, and we need to consider and have a deeper meeting to say how we can and a more stronger focus on how we should be going forward with countries like these. And we do have many more destinations to travel to. It's not that the world comes to an end with these two destinations, but it has to be a decision taken collectively by the whole country itself. And I think other trade partners should also join in to share their thoughts. It's not only about tourism. In some ways, yes, I do believe that, because I've always been, since when I was the president for 5 years, I've always been, speaking about, how important it is for tourism to be on the rise in every country, because I'm reiterating what I said initially, that tourism does bring in peace. And actually, tourism doesn't have any borders. So if that's the aspect we believe in, and if that's the way we should be living, it does make your people to people connect stronger. It creates, more indulgence in, because we have shared, a lot of historical things, a lot of cultural ties. So it's a huge value chain again that needs to come out. So it does bring a negativity, yes, for sure. But then war is always a negative aspect. So people don't think twice when if they're not thinking twice about attacking someone and helping someone to attack other countries. I think then there has to be a balance somewhere, and diplomacy and sentiments have to be somehow taken into consideration together to see that positivity remains in the entire environment. So I think those are things that we need to look at, because tourism, like I said, can cross all borders. But then again, like I said, it cannot be taken that we just believe in tourism and we do not believe in any political or diplomacy.